Welcome back, folks. MACTFORDEDGE here. Before we start that video on these valve stems, just want to remind you what powers your drive. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, in order to get a hold of me, got to join that MACTFORDEDGE Facebook group. But let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, I got a couple of things here on this video for these valve stem caps, and I bought these right here. Bought them online, made in China. And of course, I had a hard time finding the 35 PSI caps all over the internet. Could not find them. It seems they only make them in even numbers. So I ended up buying the 36 PSI because that's generally what I run my tires at. And on the FORDEDGE here, you can find that on your door. If you open the door and look down to the right, you'll see that. And let me show you where it's at. All you do is open your door, and then right next to the latch, you'll see this yellow and white sticker. You will see what the tire pressures are and what they need to be, and that will help you out. In this case, they're saying 35 PSI, with the spare being 60 PSI. That makes it pretty easy to figure out what tire pressure you need. But like I said, these here only come in even numbers. You might find the 35 PSI someplace, and if you do, all the better. But of course, I settled on the 36 PSI because that's what I run my tires at. Now, as far as use and identification, if you do see the red, that means you're dangerously low on pressure. And I have determined that for my caps here that I put on this brand, at 20 PSI, you will see the red starting to show up. And then, of course, at about 26 PSI, the yellow will start showing up. And then, of course, the green will be your normal. In looking at it, you can see that, of course, it is a green. When you put the cap on, the green shoots up to the very top. And then as the pressure goes down, the green cylinder slides down and starts exposing the yellow and the red. Now, the installation is pretty simple, and for this experiment here, I have taken and reduced the air pressure so that the yellow will pop up. Nice and tight, and you can see that the yellow is starting to pop up. That means this tire needs to have some more air put in it. Now you can just start to see some of the red showing up on here, and that is at 20 PSI as far as the red starting to show up. So now we know at 26 the yellow, and at 20 PSI for these caps you start seeing the red. That tells us we need to put air in our tires. Now this is a low-tech way to do it, and the other way is just simply go to the gas station, get an air gauge out and do it. Now the reason I'm doing this is on the first gen and the 1.5 Edge 2007 through 2014 you get a low tire pressure warning, and that's all you get. You don't know which tire it is, and these caps may be of use to tell you which tire it is, and it's a good quick visual. I do not know about the longevity of these. I'll give them a test run here and see how they work, but I'm going to assume it gives you a good visual. They work very simply, and they replace your caps so that you can also do it. I've been running them on my car for about a week now, and I have not had the tires lose pressure because of the caps. So I have tested these to make sure that they don't leak and, of course, cause air pressure loss in the tires. And that hasn't happened in over a week, so I'm going to assume they're, of course, good enough quality to use. But you can buy these things and, of course, put them on if you don't have a tire pressure monitoring system that tells you exactly which tire it is on your first and 1.5 generation Edge. Of course, this will help you, give you a visual. And of course, we could go ahead and check our spare tire, but why not use one of these 60 PSI caps and put that on the spare tire to ensure we have a quick visual on our spare tire, since it doesn't have a TPMS that I'm aware of, and we can do a quick visual inspection on our spare tire. So we just lift this up, pull the cover. Now we look at it and we can see that we have a full charge on our spare tire and we don't have any problems. Now I'm going to go into the Foreskin on my phone. I'm going to show you how an OBD2 can identify your tire pressures and tire temperatures by using Foreskin, so you can identify which tire needs the air. Now we just go ahead and connect up to our Foreskin and let her get started here. Then we go to our dashboard. Now here you can see that I do have different PIDs running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the setup, and I am currently on PCM. But here's the thing about this. We can also go to all, or we can slide down. Now see, if you're in PCM, you're going to want to go ahead and check and click that, and you're going to want to go down to your body control module. And there you're going to have your PIDs, and essentially I can delete all these PIDs on here that I had, and you click the body control module just like that. In this case we'll go back down to it and we'll start over, and then we hit the plus side, and then we go down through and we can find all the different PIDs for our tires. And in this case, to make it easier, I'm just going to select all the PIDs that go with the tire pressure monitoring system. Measured sensor, we got tire pressure measuring sensors, last warning event, and if you wanted to see that, you get a detailed description, available types, distance in miles. We're not going to select that one. And measured sensor pressure, available types, we got the pressure, so we're going to select that one. And of course that is number 2. We want to go to 1, so we want the sensor. Other thing I'm going to tell you that we're going to start out with events 1, going down: warning event, age and ignition cycles, last event, odometer, measured sensor pressure. We want that one for number 1, and you do have it barometrically compensated. Oh, I never ran that one, so we'll try it. You can get the ID of the sensors, and then of course sensor status, sensor temperature for number 1, and then of course we can go through this. So we go down through all of these, and of course hit number 2. You know, there's 4 tires on here, so we're going to go ahead, sensor pressure for number 2, and then sensor pressure compensated, transmitter ID, and of course temperature of the sensor. And we got number 2 there. Number 3, we're going to go down through it, and of course measure the pressure sensor there, and the barometrically controlled. Oh, I'm tongue-tied today. The sensor ID for number 3, and the sensor status. And then you got warnings and everything else that you're going to have there. And then of course we go to number 4, and we sensor pressure again. Sensor pressure barometrically compensated, got the word out this time. And then of course your transmitter ID, and then the sensor temperature. So now we got all 4 of these of course listed, and there's a number 5 there for whatever reason. I don't know what number 5 is. It's just cycles. And of course measured pressure, I have no idea what number 5 would be, unless of course it's a spare tire sensor, but the spare tires don't have sensors in them that I'm aware of, so we're not gonna muddy the waters up here with that. And then of course you see all got high beam, low beam, left headlamp warnings, right headlamp, hooded door switch, horn output. You got a lot of different things in here. Start, output control, ignition, input circuit, and of course all these other stuff. Key entry codes, PATS number, ignition code supported, and of course everything you need to know in this body control module section. Adding more sensors, we can actually find, if I remember right, the TPMS. Got to go down to the bottom here. Keep going. I think we'll find left and right and everything else. There we go. Tire last sensor, receive sensor status. Okay, there's the left front, left rear outer, right front, right rear. I don't know, this must be for dualies too, to have an inner tire and an outer tire. I'm going to push both of them because I don't know which one they're actually using. And then of course we have other ones, left rear, right rear, outer, inner, and all this other stuff. But we got left front, we got left rear. So we got left front, left rear, right front, and right rear. So I think we're good to go. And of course, we can now go ahead and start this all up by going back and hitting play. And we have our temps. And as you can see, we have our tire pressures. And we do have pressure. So the right rear inner is not active. That must be for dualies. So we can see that our left front is at 24 psi. Our left rear is at 35, and then our right front is at 37, and then our right rear is at 32, and then of course the temperatures and everything are 68 to 57 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and of course see what this does and drive to the gas station to put gas in our Ford Edge, or gas, and check the air tire pressure. So I'm going to put air in the right rear tire. So you watch that bottom one in red that says 31.8. And I'm airing it up to 36 psi. Now I aired that up to 36 psi. Now let's go ahead and do we're going to air up the left rear tire. Now you saw the right rear shot up. It must have sent the signal and of course registered the tire pressure. It just did that. So you saw that in live action when it actually read it and then of course registered it on the air pressure. Now, as you can see, my tire pressure is at 36.8 for 2 tires, left front and right rear, and at 37.3 for left rear and right front. Close enough, not too far off. Not going to argue about that. So again, that is how you can monitor your tires through your Foreskin. And of course also temperatures of your tires if you so desire to do that also. That's pretty much it. We both saw the manual old school method of just pressure caps on our valve stems to tell tire pressure for individual tires, and we also learned that Foreskin will not only tell us which tire has what pressure, but also a lot of other readings such as tire temperatures and everything else of the sensors, and that always comes in handy too. So you go ahead and experiment more with that Foreskin Lite app. That's $5 on Google or whatever you're going to buy it on, and you can use it with your phone. And of course the OBD2 link that of course I use is the OBD Links MX, and I'll put a link to it down below in the description, along with these valve stems that I bought to of course tell the tire pressure of your spare and of course your tires themselves. So by all means, join up on MACTFORDEDGE on Facebook. Of course, like and subscribe to YouTube. And remember, YouTube viewers, if you want to get a hold of me, you got to join MACTFORDEDGE. And that being said, we got Mercy Girl with a couple of one-liners. And of course, the Band of One's going to play some great music, along with my feet hitting the floor today. I'm having a great day. And I want you to have a great day, too.